A light rain falls on the asphalt road in Chongamanga Wildlife Park, making the surface slick. A young tigress steps out from the bushes, her dark gold fur streaked with wet soil. She is not alone. The herd is standing across the road, watching her anxiously through the rain. The kittens are hissing softly, hoping their mother will come back soon, while the large male stands behind her to guard the herd. The mother tigress's eyes shine with determination, for on the other side are the kittens waiting for her. Without looking, she sprints across the road just as a tourist car is approaching. The screeching sound of brakes is deafening, but not enough to avoid the terrible collision. The impact echoes, causing the herd on the other side to panic and retreat, their eyes looking at their mother in fear. The tigress falls to the wet road, breathing heavily, and then becomes still, red blood mixing with the rain. The open wounds oozed blood continuously, creating red streaks on the cold road. Two foreign tourists, Junaid Ali and Imran Khan, rushed out of the car in a panic. Junaid knelt down, gently lifted the tigress's head, checking to see if it was still breathing. Imran shakily took out his phone, dialing the Chongamanga Wildlife Park Rescue Center. His voice was broken with fear, describing the situation amid the pattering of rain on the car's hood. Junaid stood behind the tigress, constantly looking at both ends of the road, preventing other cars from coming. His shirt was soaked, but his hands still covered the tigress's large, motionless body. Imran said urgently, "We just witnessed an accident. A tigress is seriously injured. We need help immediately." The operator reassured that the rangers would arrive within 30 minutes. Junaid took off his light jacket, placed it on the open wound to temporarily stop the bleeding. "Hold on," he whispered. "Don't give up. The kittens are waiting for you on the other side." The kittens in the distance let out small cries, causing Imran to choke and turn away. The two tourists tried to stay calm, watching the cold, rainy road for help. It was still drizzling when the Chongamanga Wildlife Park ranger car appeared, its headlights illuminating the wet road. Sardar Asif, a veteran ranger from the park, jumped out carrying a special first aid kit. With him was a young colleague and veterinarian, Dr. Zafar Masood. Sardar put his hand on Imran's shoulder reassuringly. "You did the right thing, we'll save him." Dr. Zafar pressed his stethoscope to the tigress's chest, his brow furrowed as he listened to the weak heartbeat. "He's breathing, but he's in critical condition," he said, and injected an emergency dose of painkillers. Sardar and his team spread out a special stretcher in the middle of the rainy road, preparing to move. Carefully, they lifted the tigress onto the stretcher, blood still seeping from under Junaid's coat. Rain soaked his hair and shoulders, but no one cared. Everyone focused on saving this life. Sardar called the center, asking for the operating room and X-ray equipment to be prepared. The specialized ambulance sped away in the pouring rain, leaving the tigresses still waiting on the other side. Junaid and Imran watched, their eyes shining with a faint hope. At the Chongamanga medical station, the medical team was ready before the ambulance arrived. The tigress was rushed into the emergency room, the bright, white lights overwhelming the darkness of the rain outside. The X-ray machine worked urgently, the results clearly showing broken bones and internal injuries. One leg was severely broken, many ribs were cracked, the body was covered with open wounds. Dr. Zafar said sternly, "We need a long surgery. There are no other options." Anesthetics were injected, surgical instruments were sterilized and ready. Under the cold light outside the window, light rain fell steadily, like the tense heartbeats of those waiting. The surgery began, the bleeding was stopped, the broken bones were splinted, each stitch meticulously closed the wound. Sardar stood outside the room, his hands clutching his cap tightly, his eyes never leaving the operating room door. Junaid and Imran sat side by side, silently praying for the animal they had just saved. Time passed slowly, only the sound of the drizzling rain mixed with the heavy heartbeat. After 5 long hours, Dr. Zafar walked out, his face tired but his eyes bright. The surgery was successful, it's out of danger, he smiled with relief. The tigress was placed in an iron resuscitation cage, fitted with a breathing device and IV to support it. Sardar nodded slightly, silently thanking the two tourists for their timely actions. The first day after the surgery, it was still drizzling. The tigress lay motionless in the resuscitation cage. The doctors closely monitored every vital sign, not taking their eyes off the monitor. Sardar tenderly wiped the dried blood off its cold, wet fur. By the end of the day, the animal stirred slightly, its tired eyes opening to look around the medical room. A small tube was inserted. It drank sip by sip, its breathing gradually returning to normal. A weak roar sounded, moving Junaid to tears. On the second day, the medical equipment was gradually removed after its index stabilized. It struggled to stand up, its legs trembling but resolutely refusing to fall. A tray of fresh meat was placed in the cage, the scent making its ears twitch slightly. It ate slowly, its eyes brightening, life returning little by little. Imran softly said, "It will live, Sardar, I'm sure of it." Night fell, the sound of the rain outside lulled into a restorative sleep. The tigresses outside the reserve still watched, waiting for the day it returned. Everyone knew it had passed the most dangerous period. 2 weeks later, the incision had healed, leaving a few faint scars on its strong body. On a lightly rainy afternoon, it was brought into the large semi-wild pen in Changa Wildlife Park. There was green grass, shade from trees, and the natural scent of wild grasslands. It took a deep breath, its eyes lit up, its steps more steady than before. Sardar and the rangers observed through the camera, recording every action. A simulated hunting exercise was deployed. It charged forward with its returned strength. The roar echoed throughout the pen, making everyone choked with emotion. Its eyes were shining, eager to return to the waiting herd. Dr. Zafar examined it carefully, confirming that its health was stable with no further complications. Although the scars were still visible, it had returned to being a proud warrior. That night under the dim moonlight, it lay, listening to the gentle sound of rain outside the bars. The semi-wild cage is now a training ground, waiting for the day to reintegrate into nature. As they watched the tigress lying recovering, Junaid and Imran could not forget the eyes of the kittens waiting on the other side of the road. They understood that fragile boundaries, like a road, can also decide the lives of wild animals. Sardar quietly said, "We cannot stop the rain, but we can make the road safer." The sound of rain falling steadily, like a reminder of the fragility of nature before the human world. And perhaps love and responsibility are the solid bridge connecting the two worlds together.